February 5th, 1988 is a date which will live in infamy for most professional wrestling fans. And I do apologize for my appearance. I am a Hulkamaniac today, and I am showing off the 24-inch garter snakes, brother. But that was the night that Hulk Hogan defended the World Wrestling Federation Heavyweight Championship against this man, Andre the Giant. It was at Market Square Arena in Indianapolis, Indiana, and this was the first time that professional wrestling was broadcast live on network television in more than 30 years. And this was a very significant night to me. I'm 14 years old. I was a devout Hulkamaniac. I was taking my vitamins. I was saying my prayers. I was drinking my milk. I was ready. I was ready to see the Hulkster take care of Andre the Giant and, of course, the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase, who had bought Andre the Giant's contract out from the $1 Million Man, from Bobby the Brain Heenan. So if you haven't already watched this, go to WWE Network and check it out. For years prior to this, Saturday night's main event had been happening every about 6 weeks or so, taking over for SNL, Saturday Night Live, of course. But that was late night, and this was really that first opportunity to capture the primetime crowd, and they kicked ass. They really did. WWF went all out on this show, and they brought in 33 million viewers that night. Again, Hogan, Andre. This was the rematch from WrestleMania. Of course, Andre ends up winning and immediately relinquishing the WWF Tag Team Championship. Yes, he says that in his post-match interview with Mean Gene Okerlund. Surrenders it to Ted DiBiase immediately, who is, for at least the time being, the WWF champion, or so it appears. And of course, later on the syndicated programming, WWF President Jack Tunney would end up stripping DiBiase of the championship. That, of course, set up the WrestleMania 4 tournament, where we saw Macho Man Randy Savage become a legit WWF superstar. He won the championship, and he and Hulk Hogan then went on to have a very storied, the storyline just continued on. It was great. That was great television back in the day, back then. The angle, of course, included the two referees, Earl and Dave Hebner. They were twins. Dave Hebner was a WWF referee at the time. Earl Hebner was a referee for Jim Crockett Promotions. He signed over with WWF, and they worked out this fantastic angle. So when the show closes, or when the match ends, Hogan lifts up Earl Hebner, who was the evil referee who made the count, even though Hogan's shoulder was up after one, and launches him into Andre DiBiase and Virgil. They miss him, though. He hits the ground with a thud. Hogan is in the back crying. I'm at home crying because my hero has lost his championship. And to me, even though I knew wrestling was, predetermined, it's still, this 14-year-old, I didn't have much of a life. I was worked up. But, Hulkster came back. Hulkamania lived on and continues to live on despite what's going on in the current climate. But it was a great time. I just can't emphasize that enough. So if you haven't already, check it out. If you have watched it, go back and look at it again. I remember watching this again Friday night, sitting at home, recording it and watching it, and I went back and watched it time and time again, and I went back just this past weekend and watched it as well. Bruce Pritchard talks a lot about it too on the Something to Wrestle With podcast from this past week. So again, Hogan Andre, check it out, and check out my 1, 2, 3 cents, the other videos here, and don't forget to subscribe, brother!